Saskatchewan. You may want to hang on to that, Saskatchewan. Okay, guys, welcome back. We're back in the physiology lab. We're going to talk about Kim's study here on altitude and training in our altitude chamber. Very cool. She finished her undergrad here doing this study. Kim, tell me about it.
Sure. So to start off, I decided to have two different groups of participants. So I had a group that was under 40 and then another group that was over 60. I kind of picked those groups just to allow me to look at the different changes between groups and give me a nice big range. So first off, all the participants completed a VO2 max test. That was either on a bike or a treadmill, kind of depending on what they're used to training with.
Okay.
And so yeah, we did that test, kind of just find out their FTP, and we'll use all those values for when they were in the altitude chamber, but also to get their VO2 max, as that's one of the variables I was going to look at. Second, we did a 50-minute altitude workout in the altitude lab. So that was done at 14,000 feet. And again, whatever mode that the person used for their VO2 max test, that's what they also did in the altitude lab.
We did a baseline test, did a 50-minute workout, baseline test just to see who you got, right?
Yeah.
And then what was kind of the idea behind the whole altitude and age?
Yeah, so the main kind of goal that we were looking at, I wanted to look at how oxygen desaturation kind of varied with age.
Yeah.
So that's kind of your SpO2. That's just, the overall oxygen saturation of your body, because with altitude, we do generally see a decrease as there is less oxygen kind of in the atmosphere. So my primary goal is to look at how that SpO2 changed with the altitude exposure, but also to see if there was any relationship between the SpO2 and VO2 max.
Cool. So, big world, what we're going to do is find out, is there a difference between age, men and women?
Yeah.
And then how does it affect us when we go hiking or climbing in the Alps?
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Cool. All right, next we'll go to the results. Results now on some really interesting findings. We've been doing altitude now for about 3-4 years, yet we found some things that I've observed, but now we're actually putting some data to it, and even something very interesting. Kim, explain the first part with men under 40.
Yeah, we did find a relationship between SpO2 and VO2 max in the men under 40. So kind of what this explains is that the lower a person's VO2 max, the more of a protective effect it has against the desaturation. So once your VO2 max gets higher, that means your desaturation is going down quite a bit.
My VO2 max, let's say, is 60. Yeah. My SpO2 or the oxygen saturation will go lower.
Correct.
Okay, so yes. I can push myself further in that zone.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, this was kind of an unexpected finding. I had kind of found some previous research that confirmed this, but what was a really big surprise was in all our female participants, actually. So this included both the under 40 females and the over 60 females, and in this we found the opposite relationship. So in the females, we found the higher their VO2 max, they didn't desaturate nearly as much, whereas, when they had a lower VO2 max, their SpO2 dropped significantly. So that was a very interesting finding for this.
So I gotta get this straight down. So women are different than men.
Correct.
Okay, we talk a little slower. So as a woman's VO2 max goes higher, they don't need to go as low, correct?
Correct.
And guys are opposite.
Exactly, so it's flipped.
So very good to know when you're hiking, going to high altitude, that men and women will not be the same. Okay, last set of results that you guys might understand. We're gonna push away a bit from SpO2 a little bit, and maybe everyone understands heart rate. Talk about what you saw here from all your subjects.
Yeah, so in our under 40 group, I kind of found an average heart rate around 152 beats per minute. This was during the altitude workout, not during the VO2 max test or anything, so while they were in the altitude chamber. And then we found with the over 60 group, they averaged roughly around 143 beats per minute. So although this wasn't a huge change, it does definitely show that, with age, your heart rate does decrease. This could also tie in a little bit to those SpO2 values, just in terms of blood kind of circulating through your body. With a lower heart rate, you have a little bit less cardiac output, which means just less blood volume kind of throughout, so a little bit harder to get oxygen delivery.
Okay, so as we age, it's not as much as I thought. It's not 1 beat per year. It's maybe half a beat per year. As we age, we don't push as much blood, so the SpO2 should go lower, or goes up a bit, stays up the same.
The SPO2, that's kind of why we saw that decrease at the altitude. Yeah, so that's why they were kind of around that 77-78% compared to where the older group was around, or the younger group, sorry, was around 81%.
Okay. All right. So, anyways, guys, that's our bit of a summary on this huge study. I think it was really cool what you did. There's a lot of good results there. If you follow training or altitude, you gotta have some questions. Please fire them our way. Kim and I will get back to you. And very cool things. And men and women aren't the same.
Correct. That was a big finding for sure.
Okay. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you.